Is your twin flame really the other half of your soul? Very interesting video. Maybe you have seen my video. It was one of the very first ones I did on this channel about different types of divine counterparts, where I illustrated how the twin flame split happens. Now, since I have ascended a bit more, I still stand by that, but I still shifted my perspective, and I'm going to explain to you how. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Janine. I have been a twin flame coach and spiritual coach, Ho'oponopono coach, hypnotherapist, and life coach for a while now. I've been doing this work for 18 years now. If you want personal coaching, check out the information in the About Me page or in the description box below, and I would be happy to hear from you. I'm sorry, I just shifted my seat a little bit because of the sun. But what I believe now, it is more an experience we make. That what I showed in the graphics, and you will probably find a link to that video below. Again, I think it is still valid on the way we experience this split that happened, or the split of the soul, or the monadic twin flame is again a little bit different. But then I learned about everyone is you pushed out, and I learned more about us living in a hologram, and more physicists also now seem to believe that what you call reality is not real. What's really real is what's in your head. It's your consciousness that manifests anything. Everything already has been created, like every possible outcome, and your soul is experiencing all of them, but your consciousness is only experiencing one. It's like radio channels. Each channel has a different frequency, and you can always tune into only one channel at the same time with your device, your receiver, but the other ones still exist. And just like you can shift between radio channels, you can shift between realities based on your assumptions. Once you clear your assumptions, you can shift into another reality. But everyone is you pushed out means that if you live in a hologram and your consciousness is the only thing that's real, then it's like a dream. When you dream something, let's say you dream you have a fight with your best friends, you would not wake up, call your best friend, and be mad at your best friends for having this fight or for what they said in your dream. Because you would know, no, I created that. It has nothing to do with my best friend. I created that. And that is basically what this reality again is. The dream we were just talking about is a dream within a dream. This is also a dream. So you create everything, which also means everyone as you pushed out is that every person you encounter, every single person, is a projection of some belief you have. Some are really general about just like some people are like this, others are like that, others are more like some cultures are like this, other cultures are like that. Some may be based on your own experience. Let's say you had a teacher who had a different hairstyle and specific glasses, and then that teacher was not good to you, and then you have the subconscious belief that people with the same hairstyle and the same glasses are just like their teacher. Of course, that is a subconscious program, of course, that's running. And then you may have more and more beliefs, all different kind of beliefs. Then you have beliefs about, motherhoods, fatherhoods, and you have beliefs about specific people in your life. And you have these general beliefs, and then you meet someone, and then you form beliefs about them as well. But everyone is you pushed out. Everyone is just a reflection of what's within you. Your twin flame is not more or less a reflection than anyone else, but it is felt in a more intense way, because that is the program. There's different programs we have, and of course subconscious programs. And I just have to think about, like a turtle that hatched automatically knows it has to go to the ocean. When we are born, we automatically, because we are connected to like this oversoul, we automatically know some things intuitively. So there is already some program we have within our DNA. And the twin flame experience is also like a program that some souls experience. Like you meet this person and there is this love at first sight, you have this intense connection, and then there is the healing and ascension journey, which is vital. If that is missing, it's not a twin flame. Maybe true love, divine counterpart, but not a twin flame. The awakening part is essential. It is basically a template that this person feels specifically connected to you. And your person, I already said it in past videos, if you are divine feminine, your person is the 3D reflection of your own inner divine masculine, and vice versa. Every romantic relationship you've had was a reflection of your own inner divine feminine or masculine, showing you exactly where you stood. What was your image of manhood or womanhood? Was it distorted or healed? It is the sum of your personal experience, including your program for the first 7 years of your life. So that is your image of man or woman. Then we attract someone who mirrors us exactly that back to us. And the twin flame is no more or less a reflection of your own inner man or woman, divine feminine or masculine, than any other past lover you've had. However, it is a unique template. It is your soul wanting to make the experience to meet someone that triggers the ascension. Your soul wanted to make the experience of someone who felt closer and more connected than any connection you have ever felt in your life, and that connection to help you heal and ascend. And also, of course, what is healing and ascension? You first deal with your shadows. Awakening means dealing with the stuff you have oppressed, realizing, oh my God, I can't control that, realizing maybe even it is not real, it is just something that I have experienced because of my programming. So your twin flame cannot be the other half of your soul, because first of all, in your quantum bubble, you're the only real person. Everyone is a reflection, which does not mean that the other people are not real, but they exist in every different version of them you could imagine, and you always get the version that matches you and your assumptions, your frequency. Of course, they all have free will. Every different version of your person has free will, but they have no free will when it comes to which version of them you get. Are they the other half of your soul? I think literally no, but the experience is still very real, because that is the program. The twin flame experience, I actually want to call it, is just your soul choosing to go down that path and to feel someone that close, that intense, that it feels like they are the other half of your soul, because they resonate so much with you. Because of course they resonate with you. They are the 3D reflection of your own inner divine feminine or masculine. And if you still had a distorted image, then of course you would say the people you've met in the past did not feel like this much connected, because there has been a disconnect within yourself, within your own inner feminine or masculine. And the twin flame is someone who comes into your life and it feels that strong, then usually they leave in order to show you that there is this disconnect within yourself. There is this distorted image of femininity or masculinity. There is this unhealed stuff and all of the negative assumptions. And once you heal that, of course, it does reflect your other person. That is another thing where some people think you share a soul, because of the mirroring, because of every step that you go on your journey automatically reflects back to the other person, or rather they energetically feel it and then reflect it back to you. Or rather, every step you do on your ascension, you are no longer a frequency match to the old version of them that was distorted. You shift and get the little less distorted version, because you are a little less distorted. And the more you heal, the more you shift to the more healed version of them. So you see, it's never on them to heal. It's not your job. It's your job to shift to the version of them where they, with their own free will, decided to also heal and ascend. So if we see this mirroring going on, then of course it would be easy to say that yes, we are half a soul. And again, I think it is meant to feel that way, but they are not more half your soul than any other person you encounter. But it is a template, and it is a sacred template, and it is a special template, and I love this template. But you are still your own person. Always said, even in my old video, and I still stand by that. Again, I still stand by that, even though I no longer think that it is literally what happens, but I think it is what we perceive as our reality, which makes it kind of real in our experience. But I think on the metaphysical it's not that way, because you have your own hologram. I hope it helped a little and I didn't confuse you more. But even back then, what I was saying, and again I stand by that, it is what we experience, is that a twin flame never was half of your soul, because the split that we do experience on the soul level is, I always said, is more like identical twins. It was one fertilized egg that then split into two, and identical twins, they have a special bond, but they are still two separate people. And that is what happened as well with the split twin flame. It was one split into two, and again, not really, but felt this way, but they're still two individual people who have the special bond. So I never thought that they would be half your soul, because you cannot be half your soul. You are whole, you're full, you are perfect. There is nothing missing. The missing part, that is awakening. The biggest step of awakening is the illusion of that we are disconnected, of that we are separate. You are never separate from anything. That is the illusion, that is the ego telling you that you are separate. But we feel the separation, and we do feel the pain of the separation, which is not true, because again, you created this person. Ultimately, as Neil Donald Walsh also confirmed in Conversations with God, there's only one soul on this earth, and we are all connected. So the separation is an illusion, and we have to overcome the illusion. We have to overcome that pain of the illusion. We have to overcome the separation in order to create the inner union. And once we created the inner union, the outer union will have to follow, because the universe will always mirror you. Don't focus on how they're doing. Focus on your own inner union, and it will come. I hope it helped. If you have more questions, please leave your comments. If you're interested in personal coaching, you can of course reach out, and I do see in personal coaching or in another video. Please check out my entire Twin Flame 101 playlist. It is over 120 videos with pretty much every twin flame related question you could have, and I'm pretty sure it will guide you. And yeah, see you there on personal coaching. Until then, I do wish you all the best now. Bye bye.